everybody, my name is Sally and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Co-op Childcare, and welcome to our very first video where I'm going to be answering some of your questions that you very kindly posted on our nursery social pages. But firstly, I just wanted you to know that your feedback really does influence the way we do things. But getting in front of the camera is certainly not one of my favourite things, but I do know how important it is to get your questions answered and for you to know that you're being listened to and that we're taking the necessary action as a result of that. So we're looking forward to welcoming lots of families back from the 1st of June across our nurseries, and we've been working really hard to strengthen our practices and policies to ensure every nursery is safe and as hygienic as possible, but without compromising the happiness of the children. We have operated over the last 8 weeks without crisis, and we have worked well through the COVID pandemic so far. We have got some truly outstanding professionals who have been working on the front line across our nurseries, and they have implemented all of our safety measures successfully, and I truly thank each and every one of them. We've wanted to help you and offer as much clarity as we possibly can throughout the pandemic, and that is why our FAQs are updated regularly. You can find these on our website together with much more information about what we are doing in preparation for reopening our nurseries. So I'm just going to jump in now and address some of the questions that you have posted. So I'm going to be using my notes now, so I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. Many of your questions have been focused on the wearing of face masks. Why are we introducing these when government guidance doesn't recommend the wearing of these? Thank you to Pete, Jade, Karen, Jessie and Bree for your questions relating to face coverings. So we wanted to go above and beyond when it comes to protecting our colleagues, our families and our children. We thought long and hard about this and concluded that masks are another tool to help minimise the risk and reducing the possibility of infection. This is a policy decision that we felt was superior to having to keep taking them on and off for personal routines or other situations where close contact with your children is needed. This could potentially introduce more risks just by taking them on and off regularly or too much handling of the mask. We know that seeing their favourite practitioners wearing face coverings might be a bit strange for your little ones, but there are simple steps that we can take to support them. Reactions will vary depending on the children's age, and for our babies and toddlers it may take a little bit longer for them to understand that the person underneath the mask is indeed their friend. Older children may adapt more easily through educational activities or just explaining why the wearing of the coverings will help keep everyone healthy, happy and safe. We will of course be staying really close to the feedback from our nurseries, and we will be reviewing weekly how children are reacting to practitioners wearing the face coverings, and if they cause too much anxiety or the younger children keep trying to pull them off, we will certainly reassess our approach. Okay, so Danielle, to answer your question about your little girl's settling in sessions and your worries about not being able to enter the room, we will be as flexible as we possibly can with settling new children into our nurseries. We will still try to make these unique to you and your child, and if your daughter needs more sessions, we of course will try our best to facilitate these for you. We're just looking at things a little bit differently under these circumstances, but your child's best interest will be at the heart of any decisions we make. So please just stay close to your nursery manager and your key person, your nominated key person, and we'll do our best to make it the personalised experience that it should be. Vicky, you asked what our procedure is if a child displays symptoms and what testing is available for under 5s. So we have facilitated safe grouping of children. These are called bubbles. And these have been put in place to minimise interactions wherever possible between staff and children. If a child or colleague displays symptoms of coronavirus, they will be asked to isolate for the recommended period of time, and we would also highly recommend to book a test. The announcement on the news was a little bit confusing for everybody, and it talked more about testing for over 5s. But if a younger child attends a childcare setting and they start to display symptoms, then there is a different approach for booking a test. And this can be done by the parent ringing 111. If the test is negative, he or she can return to normal back to their nursery, of course when they're feeling fit and well to do so. And then there will be no need for the rest of the bubble to self-isolate. Similarly, Nicola, to answer your question about what our plan is for a child or staff member testing positive and will their bubble need to self-isolate, if someone tests positive, we can readily identify which children and staff have potentially been exposed. And yes, we'll be asking you to then enter the self-isolation period. We'll deep clean the room, any equipment or resources ready for your return. Sarah, your question is specific to funding, and will your unused hours be used to cover August? Funding will remain for that period that it's allocated to, and funding can be used to cover August, yes indeed. But Sarah, your situation feels unique, so you're probably best to speak to your nursery manager about how your funding entitlement will work for you through August. So Nicola, your question about keeping key worker children in separate bubbles, we've had to weigh up all options. Given our reduced capacities and the flexibilities by which families need our services, we've had to work bubbles based on age, siblings and minimising contact wherever possible. So unfortunately it isn't feasible for us to keep key worker children in a separate space. Laura, you ask how it will work if the same parent is unable to drop off and pick up. Of course, it is our preference that we limit the amount of interactions wherever possible, but we also understand that different family situations, and we want to continue to be a service that helps you even more so in these difficult times. We would prefer that one parent drops off and collects at any one time wherever possible, but it's not essential. And it's not essential that it's the same person every time. And if you cannot make that work, then we will understand. And finally, Emma, will there be any change in play activities, toys, resources in nurseries? So learning and development will not change much at all within the children's groupings. You will notice that we've temporarily removed sand, water and malleable materials such as Play-Doh. And this is really just to mitigate cross-contamination wherever we possibly can. So that's all the questions. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that this video has gone some way to sharing with you how we are keeping our children, families and teens safe during this time. Please take care, and we'll speak to you again very soon.